Hey everyone, and welcome to the channel. So today we get to take a look at the 2023 BMW X3 M Competition. Huge shout out to Hendrick BMW Northlake for providing this SUV for me today. Check out their website, that link is down in the description. This M Competition is finished off in Marina Bay Blue Metallic with an MSRP just shy of $89,000. Underneath the hood for the M Competition, this has a 3-liter inline 6-cylinder twin turbo engine paired to the 8-speed automatic transmission. This pumps out 503 horsepower, 457 pound-feet of torque. That power is sent through the xDrive all-wheel drive system, propelling this 4,600-pound SUV from 0 to 60 in 3.7 seconds. It has a top speed of 170 miles an hour, and its fuel capacity is 17.2 gallons. You'll expect to see around 15 miles per gallon in the city, 20 out on the highway. This also has a wheelbase of 112.8 inches. Its overall length is 186. It has a width of 74.7 and a height of 65.7 inches. As we move on to the exterior styling now for this X3 M Competition, really the only package added aside from the competition package is the executive package. It gives you the heated seats, heated steering wheel, and a few other goodies. So for the exterior, this also has the Shadowline package. So it provides this kidney grille with the gloss black finish. And as you can tell with the vertical slats, there's plenty of cutouts to provide a lot of cooling to that engine. There's also a nicely incorporated forward-facing camera, the X3 M badge. This has LED headlights, DRLs, and turn signals with a very nice housing for all of those lighting. In the lower section, that gloss black continues where there are a ton of inlets to provide even more cooling. There's parking sensors nicely incorporated, and I love all the contoured lines in the lower section. Very crisp points to give it that added aggressive look for the competition model. And then some nice lines that flow down the hood with the BMW badge front and center. And as we work our way to the side, this has a staggered setup for the wheels. They're 20 inches in all 4 corners, 9 inches wide up front, and 10 inches wide in the rear with that 5 split spoke design, 2-tone finish. And this even has the red M brakes just behind that. There's a gloss black trim piece with the X3 M badge written out, and this even has more gloss black for the power folding side mirrors. They have the turn signal along with the integrated camera, and a gloss black works its way around all the window trim. It's on the roof racks. This has a full panoramic sunroof and very nice lines that run down the side. The fender arches have good crisp lines to them. There's one right in the middle of the door, and then these side skirts in the lower section poke out slightly just to blend it in nicely, give it that added aggression from the side. For the rear, this has a body colored spoiler with gloss black for the lower section. There's a third brake light, wiper blade 2. This has a power liftgate, backup camera right in the center, LED taillights which have a darker housing to them, matches the rest of the gloss black with the darked out theme. There's parking sensors, more gloss black, and then the quad tip dual exhaust, which we can go ahead and start up. Because this does have remote start, all I need to do to activate that is triple tap on the lock button, and this will fire right up. And it sounds very, very good. You can shut it off with the remote too, just by triple tapping that lock button again. And from here, we'll use the button up underneath BMW to open up that power liftgate. Of course, you can use the key fob too. And with it up, the X3 is not the smallest BMW for the SUV lineup, so it still retains a good amount of rear cargo space, even with the back seats up. There is a cargo net that you can use, lock into place if you need to utilize that. And then there's a hook on the passenger side along with a 12-volt. There's even a storage space up underneath the floor. So if I lift this up, there's a spare tire and a large bin on that driver's side. You could place in some smaller items as needed. You can also fold down the back seat. So if you need that much more interior cargo space, makes it that much more practical, especially if this is your daily driver. Now up top, there's 2 buttons. You can close and lock it, and then the one on the left side will just close that power liftgate. As we work our way to the interior now, you can actually unlock the back. So you can hear it beep right now as it already locked, and then you can gain access into the rear. A very nice convenience feature to have. For the back seats, there's the manual sunshade, carbon fiber and leather, along with the gray interior for that leather. There's a window control, the release for the door, and then a good amount of storage space located in that lower section. As we work our way to the interior, that gray continues, where the seatbelts also have the BMW color stitched on them. And then these seats do recline, so that is the control for that. I have the seats in the most upright position right now, and at 5'10", I can't argue with how comfortable I am in the back. There's plenty of space for my feet and my legs, air vents in the middle. These are even heated rear seats. All the adjustments for the climate controls are right in the middle, and then there's some auxiliaries in that lower section. Now again, 5'10", I have around 2 or 3 inches above my head. If I go ahead and recline these, I am that much more comfortable. Like I said, this is a smaller BMW, not quite as small as the X1 or even the X2, but having the ability to recline these seats in such a small vehicle, very, very comfortable. I am super comfortable. 3 people might be a little bit tight, but you can definitely have 2 in the back. There's the armrest in the middle, along with 2 additional cup holders if you need to use that. You can also fold down this middle seat. So if you need a little bit more access into the rear, you can do that. And as far as visibility goes, pretty open. Even with that pillar, the glass is very, very large. We have that full panoramic sunroof, which we will open up here soon. And this even has the ambient interior lighting. Currently is red, which is a fantastic touch. Now as we work our way to the driver's seat, door panel is just like the rear. However, there's the addition of all the window controls, side mirror adjustments, power liftgate release, and then the memory seating adjustments and even more storage space. The X logo is also stamped in that brushed aluminum trim piece, and this has the Harman Kardon sound system. Now for the M Competition, the M badge is in that headrest, two-tone design to these automatic seats with all the adjustments down on the side, along with the manual adjustment for the leg cutout. So if you need a little bit more support, you can adjust that as needed. And then X3 M Competition is down on the door sill. Now for this steering wheel, it's finished off in leather. It's the M steering wheel, of course, so it is heated. There's more of those BMW colors stitched on the inside. And then on the left side, all of the cruise control settings. Right side, there's volume and tuning, along with Bluetooth and voice commands. This has steering wheel mounted paddle shifters, finished off in more of that brushed aluminum. And then there's shortcuts to M1 and M2, which I will go over once we go into the infotainment system. Let's fire this back up. With my foot on the brake, we can push on that red button, bring this to life. And looking at the digital gauge cluster, on the left side is the fuel level along with miles per hour. On the right side is the tach and engine temperature. And currently you can see the odometer along with some data information. If I use the button over on the top of the turn signal stalk, you can go through some more information like the TPMS and the temperature for the tires. There's some other vitals to monitor. You can even look at live readouts for horsepower and torque. So if I give the vehicle some gas, you will see those adjust. Pulling up the G-force meter is pretty cool to see in an SUV like this. There's also music, the different driving modes, which you can configure using M1 and M2. So this is how the vehicle is currently set up. There's also what gear the vehicle is in, live readout for MPG, and then we are back to that setting. X3M is also front and center, and this even has a head-up display. Currently it's showing the miles per hour and the speed limit sign, and then also in the head-up display, you can look at your audio. So you can push on that shortcut to go through your AM, FM, Sirius, which is a nice shortcut to have. Now on the left side of the steering wheel, there's the headlight adjustments along with parking lights, a little bit of storage where you could place some items if you need to, one air vent, and then as we work our way to the infotainment system, super easy to go through. Currently on the home screen, there's navigation along with music and phone. There's the setup, engine, and tire data, and then you have some more information that you can monitor. On this left side, these are shortcuts to get into your music. You can get into your phone when you have that paired, pull up the navigation to go through all that information. If I go under your car now, this is how you can configure M1 and M2. So I'm going to move to the rotary dial down below to further go through this information. So going into M menu, if I go into configure M1, as you can tell, this is how it's currently set up. But I can go through and I can change everything from the engine to the chassis to the steering and then even traction control. So it is very nice to have those shortcuts because I can go back to M2 and now have that toned back in more of a daily driving setting. So if you want to do some spirited driving, you can quickly go between those. There's also driver information. You can pull up these sport displays. So if you are doing that spirited driving, you can monitor all of that information. There's vehicle status that you can go into to further monitor that information. Even go into the head-up display and the panel there. Driver profiles you can set up, just general settings that you can go into for the lighting along with your remote start. You have the exterior lighting and then general info to set this up as needed. Now the last one is apps. Under apps, this does have wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, so you can configure those as needed. Pretty easy system to go through, and I like all the info that is available. Now underneath that, more carbon fiber surrounding the air vents in the middle. This even has a shortcut to the intelligent safety. So if I click on that, these are the tech features that are available, and you can adjust those to your liking. The smaller screen down below is for all the climates. As you can tell, it's currently on at the moment. There's temperature, fan speed, where you'd like the air to go. The front seats are of course heated, so those controls are integrated too, and a few other AC controls are right in the middle. Now underneath that, there's power and volume for the radio, all of the presets and tuning, and then the X3 M Competition badge is just above this cover. Now it would be cool to see this cover in carbon fiber to match the rest of the trim. There's gloss black that surrounds that, and when I do open it up, the wireless charging pad is in the back along with a little bit of space, a USB 12 volt and 2 cup holders. And then along with that rotary dial, there's shortcuts above that for your map, home, media, phone, and navigation, so you can quickly go through the system and use those controls if you don't want to use it as a touchscreen system, which is nice to see. Now for the leather wrap shifter, this is how you put the vehicle into reverse, where the backup camera will appear, and this does have the 360-degree view. As you can tell too, the BMW is blue in this icon, which is a nice touch to see. For the 360 view, we have gesture control, which is a part of the executive package. You can use that to scroll around the vehicle or just use the pinpoints on that left side. There's also another top-down view that you can use as needed. This does have automatic parking, so the parallel parking assist, and the backup assistance, which is a nice feature to have. So if you're going down a road that's twisty, you need to back up. If you use that, you have hands-free to be able to back out of the situation that you were in. Drive is over to the right side. If I do that one more time, that allows us to use the paddle shifters, or you can shift using the shifter itself. Park is located on the back, and there's also 3 different settings for the transmission, so you can adjust how slow or how quickly you want that to react. Now on the left side, there's traction control, even a shortcut to the forward-facing camera, so you can pull that up in the entire view. Parking sensors along with the engine start-stop feature, and then by pushing on M mode, that will actually change the entire gauge cluster. It will also change the head-up display. So currently now it is showing the tach along with miles per hour and the speed limit sign. So if you're doing some more spirited driving and you want this view compared to the standard view, you can do that. You can even adjust road, sport, and track. So just by holding on M mode, and now you can activate track, it will shut off that screen and you are ready to go. So no distractions, just you being able to drive this. Behind that, there's a setup icon along with the exhaust note, auto hold, the e-brake, along with a downhill assist control. And right in the middle for the center armrest, good amount of space with some auxiliaries so you can charge electronics. And then the glove box even has a good amount more for the rest of your info. Now for that full panoramic roof, I can just use that button in the middle. It is power operated, of course, to provide a lot of light for the interior. The sunroof adjustment is also that same control. There's a call button on the back side, and then the dome lights are on each side of that. As we set off now behind the wheel for this $90,000 BMW X3, let's talk about that price tag real quick, because if you just look at this as an X3 in general, $90,000 is a lot of money. When you put in the M Competition package, 500 horsepower, you can still tow with this, perfect daily driver, a little bit on the smaller side, but 90 grand's a lot for an X3, but for the M Competition, that is pretty impressive for the power that you're getting from this everyday style SUV. And so I have it in the M mode, I have everything in basically your race mode, performance mode. I have it in the quickest shifts possible as we come up to a left turn. And it's hard not to like this, even for its price tag, because you can tone it down. If I go into all the way to basically the first setting now, and we use these paddles, I don't know if you can hear that, the delay, the small delay in those shifts, but then you go back up to 3 and they are just crisp rowing through those gears. So honestly, for that price tag, you're buying more than one car, because I can put it back into drive, push on M2, and now we're just driving this almost like a base model X3. And I can put it back into the road setting, where you have a few other system settings that are now available, like the lane keeping and all of that. And it's a comfortable daily driver. I love these M Competition seats. Very comfortable with their lateral support too. They hug me very well for my size. And with traffic, it's just a daily driver. It's a normal X3 now that you can take to the grocery store, take to work, and then when you're ready, you can put yourself into the back of that seat. It is crazy to see, and what I love from BMW is how performance oriented they can make their SUVs, to where you almost forget you're not in an SUV. You feel like you're in a BMW sports car, a little bit higher off the ground of course, but you get very similar characteristics as some of their sports cars get, and that is, to me, that is very impressive. So for 90 grand, you're buying something that you can take on some back roads. You can take this out on the track if you want to, with the track setting that you have, and have some spirited driving. So if you need the practicality, maybe you have small trailers that you need to tow, you have a family, you need a usable SUV. You don't want a massive SUV, but you want something that is nimble and able to do your performance style of driving. This is one heck of an option to go with. And then from second gear, here we go. Even coming around a slight turn, it has a good exhaust note to it. If you're buying the M Competition, you want to hear that exhaust while you are having some spirited driving fun behind the wheel. And it is so quick in these shifts. Not even doing anything crazy. We're up to speed. We can put it back into the normal setting now. What's interesting to note about this too is that when you put it into the drive setting, the transmission shifts will actually still react even without using the paddle shifters. So if you wanted to shift quicker while you're just under a normal acceleration, it will still do that, which I think is cool. I love the technology that is offered for this X3. Now, there hasn't been any updates for the X3 just yet, like we've seen on the X5 and the X7. Possibly for the 24-year model, the X3 will have the new infotainment system. So it's the one continuous screen for the gauge cluster as well as the infotainment system. Maybe it will have adaptive cruise control as well. I am not 100% on what I just said there. So for now, we have this configuration for the X3, which I think is a good option to go with. I think a lot of people do like this configuration and this technology that BMW has offered in their vehicles. Really easy to go through, so I like that layout. Let's give it another acceleration though and drive. So like I said, even in drive now, it will shift as you have it set up, which is pretty cool. But I love the drive behind this $90,000 X3. It's super quiet. Perfect daily driver, a really good daily commuter if you want that added performance and you still want to put people in the back. I would be super comfortable. I love that the back seats fold down, because in the X5 they did take that away for some of the year models for the recent years. So being able to recline the seats in this smaller vehicle makes me so much more comfortable to ride in those back seats. Oh, I wish I could drive this home right now. It is that cool of an SUV. Unfortunately, that is going to wrap it up for this 2023 BMW X3 M Competition. Once again, a huge shout out to Hendrick BMW Northlake for providing this vehicle for me today. Check out their website, give this video a huge thumbs up, and smash that subscribe button so you don't miss out on our daily uploads. I will see you all in the next video.